are live.
What's up, TriCore fam? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another workout. We are gonna start with a 5-minute warm-up, 10 reps of everything. So set your 5-minute timer or follow along with us. And here we go. We're starting with a lunge to reach. So you're gonna step forward, lunge, open it up to the top, drive through that heel. You can do front or back step lunge, whatever feels better for you today. We're really opening up through the front of the body as we reach. Just alternating side to side, driving through that heel to come up. Good, getting that little bit of a stretch at the bottom of that lunge, really opening up the front of the hip. Good, I've got 2 more here. Last one. Awesome. From there, we've got lateral lunges. So you're going to step it out with that right leg, sit back into your hips, drive the hips forward, pop it up. So what we really want to think about here is hinging the hips back. A little bit of a hamstring stretch as you sit back into those hips. Good, last one here. Awesome, next we've got a bird dog reach. So we're gonna come down to the ground on all fours. You're gonna reach out your opposite arm, opposite leg. So left arm, right leg, and really feel that reach through the heel. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So what I think about is length here. So creating length, feeling that sense of reach. Keeping those hips squared up, abdominals working. And with that straight leg, flexing through that glute, getting that little squeeze. Thinking, how long can I make my arm and my leg? Find yourself like stretch Armstrong here, just reaching out. Good, I've got one more on each side. Awesome, and from there, we'll just come up to our plank position. So just make sure your hands are right below your chest. And then we're gonna pop it up to our plank. And then we're gonna come into a sumo hold. So stepping it forward into your sumo squat, and then hands come back down to the floor, step it back. Step it forward, sumo squat, chest comes up, step it back. I'm just getting you prepared for some of those movements we're gonna be doing today. About 90 seconds left of this warm-up. So it's really taking your time here. We're not rushing these movements. Allowing our body to slowly warm up, allowing our heart rate to rise. Allowing those hips to open up as you sit into that sumo squat. And I've got 2 more here. One. So we'll come on back up for our lunge to reach. We still got a minute left here. Allowing that front of the hip to open. Maybe slight tuck of the tailbone as you come down into that lunge. Driving through the heel, powering from the ground up. Think about trying to push the ground away to power you back up. This is a dynamic stretch, so it's a stretch, but we're keeping that movement going, which is really what you want to start out with at the beginning of your workout. These dynamic stretches versus those hold stretches. about 10 seconds left. You're taking your time at the bottom of that lunge. 3, 2, and 1. All right, my friends, today we have a 20-minute ladder. So we're gonna start out with 16 reps and then go down in increments of 2. So 16, 14, 12, 10, and so on. If you finish the ladder before the 20 minutes is up, you'll just start going back up the ladder. If you have some dumbbells on hand, you're more than welcome to use them. I'm going to use them for some of the movements, but all of these movements can be done with body weight. So it's up to you. You can do whatever challenges you for today. So you're going to set your timer for 20 minutes or follow along with us. I'm going to go through all the movements now. So we've got to start a lunge to knee drive. So you're going to lunge it back and then find your balance, drive that knee up. Lunge it back. Find your balance. What's really important is to stay strong in that standing leg. So as we come up, that's actually a lot of work for that standing leg, engaging the glute here, and that's gonna help you find that balance. Next, we've got bodyweight thrusters, or you can use dumbbells. So a thruster is basically just a squat to a press, but using those hips to thrust the weight up. So your arms will get tired real quick if you're using weights and you're just doing like a strict press. So you wanna think about using your hips to thrust the weight up. And it's a similar feeling even if you're not using weights. Next, we've got a pop-up squat. So we're gonna come down to the ground, here in your plank position, and pop it up, find your squat, and back down. There's a lot of work for the quads, so your legs will be burning after those. And then last but not least, we've got a push-up to rotation. So you'll just stay down in your plank position. You're gonna go push up, and then we're gonna pivot on our feet, reach up towards the sky. Switch sides each time, and your count is gonna be your total on those. All right, we ready? Let's get it. We've got that 20-minute timer on. We're gonna start out with our 16 reps. So again, weights are optional. Lunge to knee drive is our first move coming up here. So if you're holding weights, you could do weights on your sides, or go ahead and front rack those, whatever feels better. We are going in 3, 2, and 1. 8 reps each side here. We're gonna drive through that heel. Find that balance at the top. Really think about engaging that standing leg. A lot of work for the hamstring and the glute on that standing leg. And I've got 2 more here. Last one. Awesome. Next, we've got our thrusters. Body weight or weights, we're here with you. Find your squat stance. We've got 16 reps. Or use those hips to thrust that weight up. If you're using body weight, practice that hip thrust. Think about pushing the ground away, generating that power from the bottom. I've got 2 more here. Last one. All right, let's set those weights down. You could also keep using them. I'm gonna set them down. We're gonna go into our pop-up squats. We've got 16 reps. Down into your plank, pop it up. Getting our heart rates up. 6 more, so take a little rest here. Listen to your body. Whew. Quads are burning. We've got our push-up to rotation next. So it's gonna be 8 on each side. Always the option to come down to your knees, or you could do a hand release push-up where you come all the way down to the ground and then pop up to your twist. And just make sure you're pivoting on those feet, giving yourself that staggered stance so you have room to pivot. I've got 6 more, so just taking a little rest. It's totally okay to take rest. Work at your own pace. Think about pushing the ground away, finding your abdominals. Round 1 down. We're going to our 14 rep scheme next. Seven on each side. Starting with our lunges, grab your weights if you want them. Step it back, drive it up. I'm breathing heavy. Last one there. Switch sides. If you don't focus, you're going to lose your balance like I just did. So find something to fix your gaze on. Last one here. Awesome. Take a little rest if you need it. Think about this as more of your foundation style workout today. We're not necessarily going for speed. We're focusing on our form, taking our time with the movements. Don't worry, we got plenty of fiery workouts coming for you this week. Take the time to focus on form and slow it down. Use this as an opportunity. We've got 14 thrusters here. Use those hips to thrust that weight up. Last one for me. All right, we've got our pop-up squats next. Coming down to the ground. If you don't want to actually pop it up, you can do what we did in our warm-up where you step it forward, sit down into that squat. halfway through here. Feeling it in the quads. Last two. Last one. Whew. Give my quads a little rest there. We've got our push-up to rotation next. 7 on each side. And for our modifications here, you can come all the way down to the ground like I'm doing. You can come onto your knees. You can do the full push-up. If you do a blend, maybe I'll do full push-up for half. Halfway. I'm gonna come all the way down to the ground now. You wanna go with what makes you feel successful. I've got 3 more. We are cruising, coming into 12 reps. Take your water break if you need it. We're halfway through our workout now. 10-minute mark. Starting with our lunge to knee drive. My heart rate is real high. So we are stepping back, lunge it up. Find that stability at the top. We've got 6 reps here. Switch sides. Last one for me here. Drive it up. Got our thrusters. Stay with me here, you got this. Find your squat stance. Use those hips, thrust that weight up. Last one. Coming down to the ground for our pop-up squats. Let's go. I've got 5 more. Last 3. Last 1. Woo. Remember, work at your own pace. You could go faster than me, you could go slower than me. It doesn't matter. We've got our push-ups coming up next. So we're going 12 total. Rotating, reach that arm up. Find your stability on that single arm. Little rest now. We've got our 10 rep scheme coming up. It is okay to take rest. Allow your body to generate that energy so you can come back to your next set feeling successful, feeling powerful. We've got our lunge to knee drive. 5 reps on each side. Grab your dumbbells if you're using them. Step it back, drive it up. Last one for me. That's 5. Whew. Got our thrusters. 10 reps here. Let's go. Last 3. Last one. Whew. You got this. We're in this together. We're almost done. We're in our home stretch. Come on down to the ground for those pop-up squats. We got 10 reps. Let's go. More. Woo. We've got our push-up to rotation. Woo. got 2 more, you got this. Got about 90 seconds left. We're coming into our 8-rep scheme. I'm gonna hold off on my weights this time. 4 on each side. Drive it up, find that stability at the top. Squeeze at the glute. Lateral thrusters. 8 reps total, let's go. Woo! Last one there. We got those pop-up squats. 40 seconds on the clock. You got it. Last set of push-ups here for me. 10 seconds. All the way in. 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. That felt hard today. All I'm gonna say is it's a full moon today. If you're on live, maybe you're feeling this. If you're watching this tomorrow or the next day, maybe not, but I can always feel how the full moon affects my workouts. It's really interesting. Take a second, just take your breath back. Maybe lay down for a moment, allow your body to cool down, allow your heart rate to lower. Maybe kick your shoes off, pet your dog. So our mission here at TriCore is really to give you well-rounded workouts, so we're not neglecting anything. We like to pride ourselves on being kind of a one-stop shop. So your cool down / mobility, stability, flexibility workout is really important. That's why we really take the time for each workout to have that well-rounded cool down. So don't skip this portion. I know who you are. That person that just wants to go hard and not give their body what it needs. We're not about that here. All right, so coming into our cool down, we're just gonna start with a child's pose. So allowing your knees to come a little bit wider than your hips, feet come towards each other, sit back into those hips, reach the arms forward. Your head can come down to the mat, and we're just gonna take a few deep breaths here. Do 2 more big deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. So we're getting this side stretch here. And walk your fingertips forward so you feel that nice stretch going down through the oblique and into the QL. So just targeting some different muscles here, targeting the fascia. So breathing into that stretch, allowing the body to relax and open up with each breath. go ahead and walk our hands over to the left. Hips stay where they are. And you're really gonna feel that stretch on the right side of the body here. Still keeping the left side of the body long, but allowing that fascia all along the right side to relax and release. Few deep breaths here. Breathe into your tight spot. So notice where it feels tight and imagine that you're pushing the breath towards that. Breathe into the low back. And then walk your hands back to center. Let's slowly bring our hands in. Coming onto all fours, bringing your knees just below the hips. Going into a cat-cow. So starting by pushing down into the ground and tucking your tailbone to round the spine, allowing the neck to traction and release. We're doing this on the exhale, so thinking about scooping the belly up, which also opens up and releases the low back. And then from there, extending the hips back, lifting the head, pushing down into the ground to open up the chest. Let's do 5 there. So just taking our time, rounding the spine, pushing your hands down into the back to open up that upper back, and also scooping the belly, drawing the tummy in to release the low back. It's really that co-contraction of the abdominals that allows that low back to release. Look up, feel the front of the neck stretch, the chest stretch. Lift your chin. Use that exhale. Come into that rounded back. Got 2 more here. So taking your time and finding those sticky spots. Awesome. And then from there, coming to our kneeling position, just gonna do a quick hip flexor stretch after all those pop-up spots and those thrusters. So bringing your left foot forward, you can place your hands onto your knee, and then just tipping forward, slight tuck of the tailbone to open up the front of the hip. So you can keep it real simple here. You should feel that nice stretch in the front of the hip. And then let's just go ahead and switch sides there. So what you want to feel is a slight tuck of the tailbone in the front of the hip opening up as you tip forward. Keeping your chest up, hands can go onto the knee for support. Big deep breath there. Awesome. We're going to come onto our tummies here. Your hands are going to come directly below your chest. We're just going to do a little spinal extension. It's almost like a half cobra. We're not going to come all the way up into the cobra. We're going to think about rolling those shoulders back and reaching through the crown of the head. So your neck should feel nice and long. And then from here, we're just lifting slightly. Still reaching through the crown of the head. So pushing down into the ground to lift, but not going into the full cobra yet. So we're feeling this slight tuck of the tailbone. So you want to feel that tailbone growing long and the top of the head reaching in opposition, creating length through the spine. Or even reaching through our toes, feeling the legs engage here. Let's do 2 more. Noticing how as you roll your shoulders back, you even get a little bit of a chest stretch there. We're building strength in this movement as well. All right, from there, bring your left arm forward. We're gonna place it onto the ground. Reach back and grab the top of your foot. We're just looking down towards the ground here, and we're lifting to open up the front of that hip. So we're pushing the top of the foot into the hand, and then also giving it a little pull. So there's a feeling of opposition here. My left hip is still heavy. Let's do 2 more of those there. So release, and then lift, pull, release, lift, pull. Switch sides. Again, we're pushing the top of the foot into the hand. Last one here. Very nice. So from there, we're on our forearms. So we're lifted a little bit here. So kind of finding that cobra position. Hands come forward. And then we're just gonna pull and flex the foot. Give yourself 2 little pulses here to feel that hamstring engage, but also feel that front of the thigh opening. So exhale, pulse, pulse. Flex the foot, almost like you're trying to reach that heel towards your booty. Strong upper body here. So we're pushing down into the ground. Tummy is engaged. Pulse, pulse. And one more on each side. Awesome. So from here, we're gonna go ahead, bring your head all the way down to the ground, and we're looking to the left, or looking towards your screen, whichever direction I'm on. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring those hands behind the back. So just allowing the hands to rest. They don't need to touch. If they're not touching, that's okay. You can just place the hands wherever it feels like a stretch to you. We're just gonna take a couple deep breaths there. Allowing your neck to stretch a little bit. Good. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring your elbows towards each other. So opening up the front of the chest. We're gonna do 3 reps here, just giving it a little pause at the top of the movement. Release those arms after all those push-ups. Getting a little bit of a chest stretch here. And release. We're gonna do one more here and then switch our neck position. So think about lifting your shoulders up off the mat, bringing those elbows together so that you feel that lovely chest stretch. And then let's go ahead and switch our necks. So now we're looking to the right, and then just giving your neck a second to get used to that position. And then let's go ahead and go for 3 chest stretches here. So lifting the elbows, thinking about pulling the shoulder blades together to open up the front of the chest. 2 more here. Little squeeze at the top there. Last one. Awesome. And then let's go ahead and interlace our fingers. And then just reach your arms up and back. Should feel like a big chest stretch. We're gonna bring our head back into neutral and go into a little bit of a cobra with this chest stretch. So we're gonna slightly tuck the tailbone so we're not compressing the spine, and then just lifting, opening up the chest, and lower down. So bringing your forehead to the mat each time so you don't strain the neck. So we're keeping the neck long. Exhale into that stretch, little bit of a lift. Legs are active and engaged here as you lift. Glutes are engaged. Last 2. Last one here, that little pause at the top. Very nice. Let's go into our full back extension now. So bringing your hands right below the chest. Deep breath in. We're gonna lift it all the way up to extend those arms all the way out. Look up, enjoy that nice front of the neck stretch, and then lower back down. So what we wanna be thinking here is almost lifting our hips off with us, or they should feel like they want to lift. Let's go 3 more. Building that strength in the shoulders, shoulders glide down the back. Get that extra neck stretch. Last 2. Last one. Tailbone is long. transition into some side lying leg work here. So we're rolling onto our right side. A couple options here. You can prop yourself up. Just make sure that elbow stays in alignment with the shoulder. Or if you want, you can just relax and lay your head down on your arm. You could also use like a little pillow if you have neck issues and you want a pillow. So do what feels good for you today. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down. My right leg is gonna be bent here. And then this left leg is more towards the diagonal from your body. So we're not completely in alignment. We're a little bit diagonal here. So we're gonna start by externally rotating that leg, that left leg, and then we're gonna lift it up towards the ceiling. Pulling it back down. So you should feel like these hamstrings are helping you pull that heel back down to the ground, but then this outside part of the glute, these little hip muscles here, are helping you to lift. And what we want to be thinking about here is keeping some length in our torso. So imagine that your hips are stacked up and your hip isn't hiking up into your rib cage. And that's going to have your obliques doing some work there. That last two here. Last one. Beautiful. I'm just allowing this leg to come into neutral. We're gonna do the same thing here, but feel the difference versus that external rotation to the neutral. Deep breath in. We are lifting. So feeling this a lot more in the side of my hip, less in my hamstring. This bottom leg is really just a tripod for support here, but I am still feeling some work in this bottom leg. I've got last three here. Really reaching through the heel, keeping the back body active. Last one. Awesome. So from there, we're gonna raise that leg up so it's in alignment with the hip, and then we're gonna point the toes as we bring that leg forward, flex the heel as we sweep it back to open up the front of the hip. Point and flex. So it's not really about how big this movement is, it's about finding that stability, finding that control. Point, flex. Three more here. Two. And last one. Very nice. So take a little rest if you need it on that side. We're going to transition into some circles here. So you're going to raise that leg up. Go ahead. It's almost like drawing an uppercase D. So we're gonna sweep that leg forward and then we're gonna rainbow that leg up and back. And it's not about how big it is. These might be pretty small for you, that's okay. Ooh, really feeling this in the glutes. Last two here. Last one. Awesome job. Take a little rest if you need it, and then we're gonna go ahead and reverse that. So that leg rainbows up, and then sweep it back. Remember, you can make this super small. This doesn't need to be a big circle. We're focusing on our hip stability, keeping those hips stacked. We're going for 8 reps if you're counting. Butterfly. I love being outside. Last one. Woo. That hip is burning. And shake that out. Doing a little stretch here so you can allow that lower leg to straighten out, and then just bring your left leg up and around. So it's kind of like a side lying little glute stretch here. Just opening up that hip. Think about opening your knee up instead of allowing it to collapse in. And then we're gonna work our inner thigh on the other side. So I'm tricking you into doing a little more work here. So if this is too challenging, you could always leave that foot behind. Do what feels right for you. And then I'm gonna prop up onto my arm here. And then we're gonna go ahead and flex through the foot, and we're lifting that inner thigh. So think about using the inner thigh to lift and push down into the ground with that left leg. Got 4 more. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. All right. So before we switch sides, we'll just do that a little glute stretch for your left. So swinging this left leg around into a 90-degree position. Your back leg is in 90 degrees. Then we're just gonna sit nice and tall and tip it forward to stretch that glute. So we're keeping a nice straight spine here. If you collapse here, then we're not getting as deep of a stretch. So really think about keeping that good posture. Tip forward. Very nice. All right, let's transition to our other side. Again, remember your options here. You can prop up onto your forearm. You can just lay it on down. Left leg is bent. Little tripod. And then we're finding that hip stability here, that length through the torso. And we're starting with our external rotation. So we're gonna lift and lower. You can always pop your neck up if you need a little more support there. And then the other hand can always come down to the ground, right in front of you. Last 3, 2, last 1. Very nice. We're gonna rotate to neutral so that leg is, or the toes are facing forward. Same thing here, we're lifting and lowering. Reaching through the heel, finding that length through the back of the body, finding that strength. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. And then from there, we're gonna sweep that leg forward. Feel the hip pull back as the leg sweeps forward. And then sweep it back, opening the front of the hip. And think about pointing the toe as you sweep forward and flexing the foot to pull it back. Point and flex. What you want to feel here is this sense of opposition as that hip pulls back and the leg sweeps forward. Last 2, find your stability. Last 1. Got some dog action going on back here. Just gonna acknowledge the elephant in the room. We're trying to work it out. And from there we're gonna go into our circles. So sweeping that leg forward, up and back into that rainbow. Remember, it's not about how big your circles are. It's not the size. Size doesn't matter. Not with this, at least. We've got 8 here. Got 3 more. I know your glutes are burning. Stay with me. Last one. Whew. Well, let's go ahead and shake it out, and then we'll reverse that. Rainbow it up, sweep it back. Last two. Last one. Woo! So go ahead and straighten out that lower leg. We'll just bring that foot forward for that little bit of a stretch. Think about pushing your knee so it's almost in alignment with your leg. And you can always keep that foot behind you and just open it up. You don't have to bring it all the way in front if that doesn't feel good. And then just going into that last bit of inner thigh work here, I'm gonna prop up to my elbow. The leg can either be in front or behind. Flexing through the foot, lifting and lowering. So I'm really using a lot of abdominal control here. And also pushing down into the ground with my right leg, my stabilizing leg here. Flexing through the foot, feeling that inner thigh engage. Last 3, 2, and last one. Whew. And then we'll just roll it on back up for our last glute stretch here. Swing your right leg around. We're in a 90-degree angle, so you want your shoulder in alignment with the knee. Chest is lifted, we've got good posture, and you're just gonna go ahead and tip it forward. Even think about lengthening through the neck, looking down towards the ground. Awesome. You can hang out there as long as you want, but that is all it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to tag us. Tag your sweaty selfie after your workout at TriCore Fit. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.